Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I'm Alan, and you are in for a real treat this Friday evening. Here is the place that you're going to get entertained. We're going to talk a lot about sports and a whole lot more here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Since we are live streaming on almost all platforms, you have the opportunity to chime in via chat. Great thing is, we're going to entertain you. And nice thing about our show, we're going to go ahead and give you an opportunity to learn a lot more. I'm going to go ahead and first get started by thanking one of our many awesome sponsors here at the Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me go ahead and thank none other than Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you visit my great friend Chef G's right here in Tampa, Florida, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's quite all right. Great thing is we have an option for you. Visit Chef G's right here at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Let me just go ahead and crack this box open here and show you what's in this box. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, this is awesome, folks. I just, you see that? Bourbon, Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Now, this is mixed, crafted with Dunamis Bourbon. Make sure you guys go ahead and like Dunamis. Shout out to Dunamis Bourbon. They follow the Alford Sports Talk Show. Big supporters. And it is mixed with, this is awesome. So that's one flavor right here. This is the gift box you get. Bourbon. You have the Florida Gold Honey Mustard. Right there. And last but not least, you have the Classic. Classic. Now, one interesting fact is this. These are glass bottles. These are all glass bottles. See that? That's glass. This is not plastic. If you do get it shipped to your house, which is the option, flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com, the ones that are shipped to you are going to be in plastic because obviously if it does get damaged, it's broken. If you come down to 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida, you'll have the opportunity of getting a glass bottle. But this gift box is awesome. You give this as a gift, the person that received this is going to be like, wow. There's no other way. I mean, this is just, and this even looks even cooler in your hand. So, but yes, go ahead. My man watched Super Bowl 59. I'm just going to just say that he got those tickets because of his outstanding community work to Hurricanes Helene and Milton. All the music you're going to hear tonight on the show is brought to you by Sam Scola Songs. We're going to talk a lot about Sam Scola Songs a bit later in the telecast, but first we're going to go ahead and play his second song. The intro is his song. Now we're going to play the Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Let's go. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you go ahead and visit them. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, it's okay. Visit them at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Thank you, Chef G's, for being one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Thank you. We really tremendously appreciate you. So yes, folks, we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the draft, the NFL draft. I mean, that is, I'm going to share you my thoughts on this. Wow. And those are some impressive feats that I saw. 4-2. I just wish that the modern day athlete wouldn't talk so much. I get the confidence, I get it, but I think you have to hold back some of those things. I just comes off a little bit to me like a bit of arrogance. And you might be like, okay, what's wrong with that? Well, the problem with arrogance is that it turns people off. I just think that you kind of want to hold some of that back. It's good to be confident in what your abilities are, but I think a low-key approach is a little bit better because it invites more people. You're just not kind of like ruling yourself out, hurting your chances by being too, I would say people view it as arrogant. But it was impressive. I saw some of the footage here. I'm going to bring some of it up for you. It was impressive what I did see as far as, the athletes and just going out and doing their thing and competing. Let me just pull up some of it for you so I could show it to you here. And one thing I will say while I'm pulling this up is I do think, and this is kind of in line of what I did ask at the Daniel Jeremiah. Daniel Jeremiah, for those who don't know, is the head NFL draft analyst for the NFL. It was awesome that they did a Zoom call. For those who don't know, that Zoom call had over 170 media outlets. Over 170 media outlets. And basically, you was able to ask Daniel Jeremiah one, maybe two questions. That was about the norm. Most people ask one or in a follow-up. I asked one and a follow-up two. I almost got my name was called about 2.5 hours into it. Kind of funny, but kind of aggravated at the same token. I'm going to just recap what happened. Basically, I did a Zoom. You see right here, I'm on StreamYard. I haven't done on a Zoom call since the show converted to StreamYard because I just feel as if the service is just better, quality is better, sound, and nothing wrong with Zoom. It's just that I just felt as if StreamYard was better in a lot of aspects. Lo and behold, I didn't use Zoom for about a year and a half, just because unless somebody else was using a Zoom, that's the only time I needed it. But it's been a minute. When I logged into the Zoom for the thing, they moved the react button. Basically, the react and the raise hand feature is combined. And I was looking all over the place for this. Where's this button? And lo and behold, I found it, but it was about 10, 12 minutes into it. And because of that, I was way down the line with raising my hand. I was past the midpoint, by the time I found that raise hand feature. So if you do use a Zoom, if you haven't used it in a while, the react and raise feature are together. And unlike Microsoft Teams where it's separate, Zoom did have it separate because I know I use that quite a bit. Couldn't find it. I found it. So I was able to ask my question out of 170 outlets past the midway point where I was able to find it and raise my hand. So almost 2.5 hours later, I was able to ask my question, and it was about Shedeur Sanders. I did see some of his interviews as far as the combine, and that I did see his response. Also, this wasn't a surprise to me that he did talk and did do interviews, because he did say he was going to do the interviews. However, he's not going to work out at the combine. So I think if I had the schedule up here, I think the QBs are supposed to be scheduled. I had that schedule in front of me where there's either today or tomorrow, but he's not going to be working out. And I would just say, like I said before a few weeks ago, I think if you're going to be a definite pick in the top 5, then I would say maybe it's not as required for you to work out. Outside of that, I think you should be going ahead and working out in the combine. That is my own personal opinion, because I do feel as if you get a chance to showcase your talents right before, teams make a decision on you. That last bit of information might be the information that helps you raise your draft stock. Based on Daniel Jeremiah's draft stock, when we did the interview, we did this questionnaire / interview with Daniel Jeremiah, the head NFL draft analyst. At that point, he had Shedeur Sanders number 11. Well, since then, which has only been a few days ago, he moved him down to 15 based on his own list, not my list. That's his list. Reason why I say this is if you're not in the top 10, which I don't feel, unless the Raiders make a play for him because of that relationship between Tom Brady and Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders, they actually are really cool. If the Raiders don't pick him up, I don't know if he's going to go in the first round, at least the first 10, I would say. He's going to go in the first round more than likely, but I don't think he's going to go in the first 10. I think if you're Shedeur, the only thing I disagree with is working out. I think you should have worked out. It's my own opinion. I think you should show people your skill set. Don't be afraid of it. Let them see your run. Let them see what you can do, in front of you. Show them. That's one of the things about selling. A lot of times when I used to sell, and you're basically selling yourself when you're doing a draft pick, I would a lot of times just when we got to a standstill, I would just let the product speak for itself. I would just turn it on, whether it's a stereo system, change to a channel, and just demonstrate it for them. And by just demonstrating it, that a lot of times closed the deal. And without me saying anything, I got to the point where I was at the point where I just had nothing new to say. It was just going to be me repeating what I already said. So I said, rather than do that, let me just show you the product. And I would just demonstrate the product, demo it. And they were like, okay, no problem. I'll take it. I think you want to demonstrate the product, especially if you're not going to be more than likely in the top 5 picks. You know, I know that's one of the bad things about the NFL. It's kind of like, I don't want to use the word but I would say it's a copycat league. Meaning one person will come up with an idea and do something, and then after they do it, somebody else will just not use any originality and they'll just copy it. And you see that in life. People just copy what somebody else is doing. Yes, that was something that was done last year, but I don't think it's a trend that the players should really kind of continue, not working at the combine. I just think you're hurting yourself by not showing your skill set and your talent in front of people at the very last moment, barring you being the top 5 pick. You know you're going to be a top 5 pick, then it's really your option. Outside of that, I think you should be working out and showing people your skill set. Because based on Daniel Jeremiah's list, let me just pull it up for you. He had Shedeur went from when we last spoke to 11 down to 15. And now that he's not working out at the combine, I don't know. It's like right now, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I am very curious to see where it plays itself out, but I'm going to pull this up for you guys to see it. You know, sometimes it's just best just to show you to you. Let me go ahead and pull this up so you guys can see it. One second. All right, you guys. Okay, here we go. It's coming up here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here. Let's close this little thing here. Okay, the 2025 NFL Draft, Daniel Jeremiah, top 25 player ranking. See massive shakeup during the NFL Combine. Jeremiah is a person who I was able to ask a question to, and he is, again, the top NFL draft analyst. So he has Abdul Carter, edge rusher for Penn State, being the first round pick. There was some talk about, some injuries, but I don't think that's going to hurt him. I do agree with that pick. I would be surprised if Abdul Carter is not the number 1 pick in the draft, the first pick, meaning the first overall pick. And then we have Travis Hunter, cornerback, wide receiver for Colorado. He has him going second. Travis Hunter, I don't feel as if he needs to work out. If there's anybody in the draft that I think in this combine that doesn't need to do it, I think Travis Hunter is probably the top. I mean, he's won the Heisman. We all know what he can do, what he brings to the table. It's just if you want to work out, sure. Now, one thing I will say about working out at the combine, as far as you being a top 5 pick and you choose not to, I can respect that. And reason being is because I literally have on film, which I did not release that. I didn't release it, but at a tryout, so to speak, where you're doing drills and techniques, I literally watched someone break their ACL, tore their ACL right in front of me. And just by coincidence, I caught it right on camera, meaning I had the camera set up, the camcorder that is, on record when people were doing the jump, when they were just doing the long jump. I just had it on the tripod, had it set up. That's a perfect situation where you have the good angle and you have it set up. You don't really need to mess with the camera and you can just leave it. I had it on continuous rolling. And lo and behold, about 7 or 8 in, he jumped. This is the reason why you want to wear some long spikes. When I tell you guys, when you're working out, doing the open tryout, you want to bring actually a couple of pairs of spikes because you want to test the field. Sometimes in the morning where they start really early, there's dew on the ground. Then you might want to go to a shorter spike. But I would bring 2 or 3 pairs with me just to make sure you're kind of managing yourself to show what you can do you're going to make the determining factor of which one you're going to wear. And if you have 3, you can make a change. If you don't have it, you can't. So this gentleman tore the ACL right in front of me, had it on camera during a long jump. So much so that the EMS came out there and literally carted him off. So when you do these drills, there is risk of injuries for the people like, everybody should work out. Well, you might want to think about that, especially when I literally watch an injury right in front of me. I didn't release the footage because I just, the person was trying out. I didn't want to add insult to injury. If you were there, you saw it. But if you didn't see, if you were not there, I did not release that footage. I'm not one of those people who work in the media just trying to, go viral for anything. No, that's not my style. And yeah. I mean, I got it right on camera. It's one of those things that you're kind of like, wow, I can't believe I caught that on camera. I was surprised myself. So Ashton Genty, running back for Boise State. Oops. Let me close this out here. Hold on one second. Yeah, so it's had a computer error there. I probably will pull it back up. But the thing about it is he had Daniel Jeremiah had him at 15. And I'm just going to check and see real quick if that list changed any. But he had him dropped is the point. He had from the time we spoke to then his draft stock dipped. So let me just see. He had Abdul Carter number 1, Travis Hunter number 2. That was the same. Ashton Genty 3. Mason Graham, number 4. So his top 5 didn't really change. Tyler Warren. But he did have, he moved up Will Johnson from Michigan to number 11. And he has Shedeur Sanders 15 now. Let me just read his comments of what he has to say about it. Sanders is a slightly undersized quarterback with outstanding touch, accuracy, and toughness. He operates out of the gun and is crisp in his footwork / setup. When he has time and space in the pocket, he throws from a strong platform, showcasing a compact, smooth delivery. He really keeps his left arm tucked close to his body, which aids his ball placement. He relies more on timing and anticipation than pure velocity. He isn't a sudden twitch mover when pressured, and that's part of the reason why he took so many sacks over the past 2 seasons. Still, the main culprit was poor protection. Despite taking some hellacious hits, he hangs in a pocket and doesn't drop his eyes to see the rush. His toughness is unquestionable. Overall, Sanders doesn't have elite size, arm strength, or athleticism, but he can find success in an offense based on timing and ball placement. See, that's where I would have worked out. That last line right there. Let me just see. This is a good question here. Do I think Abdul's injury will affect his stock by APR? I don't think so. I don't think so. That's a great question. Let me just I don't think so because it is a bummer for him. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's going to affect his drive stock because he's such a great player that I think even if he doesn't start the season, I still think you with the fact of him working out, getting better, I still don't think it's going to affect his draft stock. That's saying a lot, but I just think he's that great of a player. He checks all the boxes. And I think, you may not have him start at the beginning of the year, but that may not be a bad thing in a way. He can get a chance to kind of talk to some of the vets, get acclimated with the team. You may not be playing, but sometimes it's better that way for a rookie rather than just getting thrown out there. I don't think it's going to hurt him. let me read what Daniel Jeremiah had to say about Abdul Carter. And he's had him number one throughout the entire time. That tick has not wavered. But let me show you what he said. And this is who I was able to speak to. Daniel Jeremiah, he said about Abdul Carter from Penn State, edge rusher, junior. Carter is an electric edge rusher. He has average height and bulk, but he has an elite burst, and his ability to flatten at the top of his rush is special. He gets a lot of early wins because of that speed, and he also has nifty swipe, rip move. If tackles offset, he senses it early and crosses their face for immediate pressure sacks. He also has a natural ability to retrace underneath when quarterbacks climb the pocket to avoid him. He can press out and control tight ends at the point of attack. He's a blur when chasing plays down on the backside. Overall, Carter can take over and completely wreck an offensive game plan. He demands attention on every snap, and that is going to free up everyone else around him. I mean, there's nothing in that statement there that's negative or even like, hey, maybe you need to work on this or maybe this needs some improvement. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to affect Abdul Carter draft stock. I really don't. I think he's going to go in the first round. He'll either be, this is a draft. Things can change, but I see him being either number one or number two pick. I just don't see him going anywhere else than that. And definitely it's tough when you get an injury, but he'll heal up. He's young, he's strong. I think he'll be fine. Now he doesn't have to work out. He would be a perfect example. If, let's say, there was no injury, he doesn't have to work out. Travis Hunter, I don't feel has to show anything. Ashton Genty, if you're the top five, I think you're good. But outside of that, I think you should be working out. I really do. Now, one thing that's interesting, he does have Cam Ward number 10. Let me just see something here. I'll just double checking. Out of all the quarterbacks, he has him going first as far as quarterbacks, and that's Cam Ward. And let me just read what he said about Cam Ward here. Cam Ward from Miami, quarterback, senior. Ward is a thick, compact quarterback with outstanding arm strength and playmaking ability. After spending 2 seasons apiece in Incarnate Word and Washington State, if I mispronounce it, I apologize. He put up monster numbers at the final stop of his college journey, becoming a Heisman Trophy finalist at Miami. He plays a very freewheeling brand of football. He drifts in his drop, throws from a variety of arm angles, and often falls away from the target upon release of the football. He can really power the ball into tight windows, but his aggressive nature can put points on both sides of the scoreboard. He has a very quick hands in the RPO game and can navigate around free rushers by dropping his arm angle. He took the free yards with his legs when voids presented themselves in Miami's spread attack. Overall, Ward will need to be reined in, but he's a very gifted thrower of the football. If he can learn to better manage the game, he has a very high ceiling. So, yeah, if you Cam Ward, maybe you think about it, but I just think if you're not in the top 10, you need to be working at the combine. That's just my personal opinion on it. And it's going to be an interesting draft. It's going to be very, very interesting how things play itself out. And that's that's what I'm curious to see. I did want to give a shout out before I forget to the Tampa Baseball Museum, Ybor City Museum as well. And I wanted to thank, and also JC Newman Cigar Company for the event I was covering last night. That is the reason why I actually had a lot of events this last couple of days. That is the reason why I'm actually wasn't at the combine, because I had events that I had kind of put on the calendar. Shout out to Arminda Mata and the Tampa Baseball Museum, Ybor City Museum, as well as JC Newman Cigar Company. They told me about this event and told me to put it on the calendar to cover the event well over 3 months ago. So there was no way I was going to back out on my word. Let your yeses be yeses and your noes be noes. So because of that reason, I had to be here in Tampa. That is the reason why I did not put in for the combine. I just felt as if my personal style, I don't like to cover an event and kind of like piecemeal it together, come in after like a day or 2 or 3 after the event has started. Then you're kind of playing catch up. I just, that works sometimes. For some other media outlets, it doesn't work well for me and my style. I like to get there real early, see what's going on throughout the duration of the event I'm covering, and at the very end. So that's the reason why I was not at the combine, and I did not put in for the request to go to the combine because I knew I couldn't fulfill an entire obligation of being there, 3, 4, 5 days in Indianapolis. So, and I had made promises, but that was an outstanding event. That was the Tampa Smokers event. Really shout out to them. It was a fantastic time, fantastic event, great fun. And I felt as if I was in the right place. So maybe next year I'll cover the combine as far as being there physically. So I'll not only get a chance to do the Zoom call with Daniel Jeremiah, but also for the NFL, be there in the combine. We will see. So we will see. But I did not put in for it because I know I couldn't be covering the entire event. So, but I did keep up with it. Let me just see what else we had here. Miles might be out of CLE sooner than we think. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, so assuming they grab Carter, which is true, it's going to be interesting because that's the thing about these draft choices and picks is that if a team changes their mind, which does happen, then it throws off pretty much everything else that you think might happen. So there was some impressive workouts that I did see in that the gentleman who said he was going to do a 4.2 and he did it. I mean, that's why I wouldn't put that type of pressure on myself, but he said he's going to do it and he did it, and that's the thing about sometimes when you're talking junk, sometimes it works itself out. But I just think the last time I say was about Shedeur Sanders. I get it. Your dad is Deion Sanders. He's a Hall of Famer and he's the man. I get all that, but Deion Sanders is Deion Sanders. I know he's your son and you've seen him your entire life, but you are two different people. What might work for someone may not always automatically work for someone else. But he did make a good point. He did say he worked for 6 OCs, offensive coordinators, and he's had to adjust. So that was a good point. That was a good point. I would just like to see him work out for that at this combine. That's. I think the arm strength, all those questions right there would have been things that people would have been able to look at. Hey, I may not pick him because he's undersized. Arm strength, athleticism. That's not my quote. That is what Daniel Jeremiah is saying. But the thing about it is this is where you get a chance to show them the work. And, yeah, because that was one thing that Shedeur Sanders had to endure. His pass rush was, his line was paper thin at sometimes throughout the season, to put it nicely, and they put him in some poor positions. So that's even more of a reason why you may want to do the workout, so you get to show them that you could have made such great passes or plays had you had a better line. So I would have just liked them seeing workout. That's just a personal thing. And I think it would have helped the stock actually too, especially when, people are saying, doesn't have elite arm strength, athleticism, or size. I would have showed them, hey, maybe you're looking at the wrong things. But it's going to be an interesting draft. It is going to be very, very interesting. I'm going to wish that that I'm going to pull this up here. I'm going to pull something up here. I'm going to show you guys something here. All right. So okay. Let me show you here. And then, yeah, so Xavier Worthy set a new NFL combine record with a 4.21 second 40-yard dash. Yeah, a year after Texas Xavier set that's the reason why I think you want to work out, because you get the chance to show people something they haven't seen before. So it does break down the top 40 speeds. Let me just take a look here. A year after Texas, Xavier Worthy set an NFL combine record with a 4.21 second 40-yard dash. History doesn't appear likely this time around, but it doesn't take a record-breaking run to wow NFL scouts, particularly if a prospect can blend size and speed. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why you want to work out. You want to show them the work, show them what you're working with. That's let me show it to you guys here, so you get a chance to see what I'm talking about. Let me just see here. Okay, here we go. Right here, this statement right here. Yeah. So yeah. But it doesn't take record-breaking run to wow NFL scouts, particularly if a prospect can blend size and speed. So it's saying that if you don't run the fastest, it still can get some scouts' attention. Let me just show you here some of the 40-yard dash runs. This is this year, 2025. And it's impressive. Maxwell Harrison, DB from Kentucky, 4.28. That's amazing. That's amazing right there. 4.30 from Darren Porter, DB from Iowa State. And that's one thing he did say. There's a lot of great talent this year. So, especially on the defensive end and defensive line, he did say that too. So, that's why I think you should work out. And barring injury, of course, if you're injured, you shouldn't risk anything. Or if you're top 5 that are pretty much locked in, then it's your choice. I would probably say you probably don't want to do it, if you're going to be a lock in the top 5, just because you don't want to risk an injury. And I've seen a torn ACL at one of these kind of like tryout, and it wasn't anything pretty. I did not put up that footage. And I had great footage of it too, because I was in a great spot at the tripod setup. Didn't even need to touch anything. I wasn't, it's one of those things where you never thought you're going to catch something like viral worthy, just by having the camera running. But I've learned in media, always keep the camera running. Just keep the camera running. Don't pause it. Don't stop it. Just keep the camera running, because if you do pause or stop your camera, guess what? You have to kind of recalibrate and recheck it all over again. And sometimes that can end up being disaster. And I know from experience, I've stopped the camera, started it back up, and guess what? I got some interviews and there was no sound that came through. So it happens to the best of us. I was like, I'm not making a mistake again. Once you have the camera set, and you work in media, this inside tip, just keep it rolling. Just keep it rolling. And make sure you have plenty of memory card. Make sure you have plenty of battery. Just don't stop recording. Just keep it going. Because as soon as you turn it off, turn it on, more things could go wrong. May not get the sound like happened to me. Got a couple of interviews. Sound didn't come over at all. Got pretty few video, but no sound. And another thing that can happen that can go wrong is not only something like that, but you might miss something. You might have missed something when you stop recording. So just keep the camera rolling. And that's what happened with this situation where somebody was working out and got injured and tore an ACL right in front of me. It wasn't, I wasn't looking to get no, viral type stuff, but it just happened right in front of me. And that's what happened. And yeah, and EMS had to come out there, and it wasn't pretty. I'll say that much. Felt bad for the young man too, and I won't say his name either, but I felt bad for him. So I would only suggest if you're in the top 5, you got it locked, not to work out. Outside of that, everybody else needs to be working out. That's where I'll come out on this draft and the combine. That was one of the questions that somebody did ask, which I was surprised because I was surprised somebody didn't ask that question a lot earlier. Hey, what are your thoughts about players who don't work out or choose not to work out? And that question came in at about 50 or 60 into it. I was a little surprised that that question didn't get asked earlier. That was actually one of the questions I had on my list too, but somebody had asked it. So that's sometimes what happens. But yeah, and he said, if you're a lock, you probably don't need to. But if you're not a lock or not in the top 5, you probably do need to. I agree with that. Let them see it. Let them see. And it also, the combine shows what you can do when the camera's on you, because there's a lot of cameras on you in that combine, and there's a crowd that's there, and you're being evaluated by that. This is a good opportunity to show what you can do in kind of a situation where, when the spotlight's on you. So I think you want to work out the combine and go from there. Speaking of working out at the combine, I just think I think it looks like the guys are doing really well. I wanted to bring up this clip of this person who did an outstanding job. Let me pull it up here in this 2025 draft. Let me pull it up for you guys. All right, let me. Give me one moment here. I'll pull it up for you. Yeah, it was awesome. Okay, here we go. All right, I'll have to pull it up a little bit later. It's not letting me kind of do it right now, but that's okay. I'll show it to you guys later. But hey, guess what? If you guys are in the market for a new home, refinance a home, I have the tip for you. Make sure you go ahead and give CTC ME Mortgage a call. That's right. In all 50 states, he can help you. And the great thing is he can make that dream home a reality for you. There he is right there. CTC ME Mortgage. Make sure you give Kurt McCray a call today. That's right. At 346-527-7564. 346-527-7564. Whether you want to buy a new home, refinance it, or you want to use the equity in your home, CTC ME Mortgage can help you. You can also visit ctcmemortgage.com. I'm going to go ahead and play another fantastic Sam Scola song. It's a CTC ME Mortgage song. Let's go. Yes, CTCME Mortgage Company. Make sure you give Kurt McCray a call, 346-527-7564. 346-527-7564. Give Kurt McCray a call today. Live in your beautiful home tomorrow. There you go. Thank you so much, CTCME Mortgage, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Tremendously appreciate you. So yes, outstanding to be working out there at the combine. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk to you guys about the UFL. Let me go ahead and do that. Let me pull up here some great things about the UFL. So yes, season tickets. If you haven't gotten those, definitely get those. But you can also take advantage of getting single tickets. Those are available as well. And another great thing that's happening here with another great thing that is happening with the UFL is they're going to have media day for the kickoff of the season. I saw that guys are coming in today to meet up with their teams, start getting the workout in with the team, and it's coming up quick, and so I'm going to see if I can make the media day that's going to happen next week. I'm not sure yet because it is in Arlington. I am here in the Tampa area. So I'm going to see what I can do to try to make it. And I will let you guys know this week. But yes, that is really cool that the UFL is starting up. Guys are making their moves. They're getting work in. And the nice thing is it's going to be here before you know it. So again, single game season tickets went on sale yesterday. So if you can't get, if you're not a season ticket holder, you have an advantage now. You can go ahead and get a single ticket right away. You can do that now at theufl.com. theufl.com. Now, a couple things is if you do think you can be a season ticket holder, why not try it? Because, the reason being is because of the fact that the season ticket holding packages are just awesome. They're just fantastic. Let me, in fact, show this to you as well. And then, oh, yes. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. We have a special guest here. All right. How you doing?
Am I on?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
All right. My man Lou is here. How you been, Lou?
All right. Yeah. I call your a little bit your conversation about with the workouts and whatnot. If you're a shoe-in, you don't need to go try and work out and prove it. But when you're on that cusp and the scouts look at you, you're trying to say, okay, show us what you got. That's what the purpose is for. These they were stars in college, but now you're going with the big leagues and you don't know where you're going to be. So let's see what you got here and see if you can convince us. That's what
No, I
combine is all
agree.
about.
I definitely agree.
These young players, to see if how far they're going to, make it to that next level. Or worst comes to worst, see in Canada.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you're not a shoe-in, the top 5 locked-in player, I think you need to work out. I completely agree with you because you just you don't want to lower your stock. You don't want to. There was a question that came in that I'm glad you're here to help me answer this. Did you see the QB situation in the UFL? I did see some of the QB shuffle in the UFL.
Yeah.
I did see my guy Quentin Dormady is with the Showboats. I did see Luis Perez is coming back. However, another thing about that is he has two gunners going for that job. So, which is interesting. I just want to say this real quick, answer this question real quick, Lou, is that I don't know how it's going to play out because I know with the UFL they kind of want you to play for 2 seasons. You saw
Yes.
what happened to you know with AJ McCarron, and they didn't bring him back for a third season. Luis Perez is technically, I guess, coming back for a third year. The XFL now the 2 years for the UFL. I'm curious to see if he's going to get that job. I mean, not to say he
Yeah.
shouldn't get it, and I know he's definitely a great quarterback, but I'm kind of curious to see what the UFL is going to do about this. And I know there's a lot of QB shuffling going on in UFL right now.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you don't already exceeded my expectations anyway because I didn't think it was going to last through the first half of the first season, but it exceeded that already. So
yeah.
it's not like we're looking at that league that was in 2018, whatever it was. That league, a total disaster. So it's already exceeded that and my expectations as well. So hoping now for a year, whatever it is, 4 or 5, you want to count the two separate leagues before they merge together. So depending how you look at it. So it has succeeded. Not gratefully succeeded, but it has succeeded.
Let me let the listening audience know Lewis he's loosened up a little bit on the stance, but he was pretty hard on the UFL and the XFL when they first came into fruition, to say the
I
least.
was. I was. I'm not completely sold yet. I mean, let's see if they can survive a second year. Because remember, the USFL only lasted 3 seasons before that, and the other league, which flopped twice. So, yeah,
Yeah, and that's a good point, Lou. You guys need to come out and support the UFL. That's the
yeah,
thing. Even Destroying said that he feels as if, even the following he has, that he feels as if alternate leagues outside of leagues from the NFL, they just struggle to get support. People, it's like they only care about the NFL. If you care about
right.
football and you care about talent and care about seeing talent when the NFL is over, then you need to come out and get these single tickets that went on sale, and you need to go ahead and come out to the games. What do you think, Lou?
Yeah, because problem is, I think they're just in too many small cities, and they don't get a lot of recognition. I mean, nobody really pays much attention to who lives in Sioux City, Iowa, or Cucamonga, or whatever the case may be. Those cities don't have a lot, support. They're more interested like because they're in the shadows of the big cities like New York, L.A., Detroit. Uh, you know, I mean, yeah, okay, Sacramento has luck with the Sacramento Kings, but that's kind of rare.
Yeah.
The smaller the cities, the smaller like they don't pay attention to. It's like a blip on the radar screen, and it's not even really there. Like, oh, we had a USFL team over here. Oh, I didn't know that. But then again, we're so small, we don't even notice. You know, because you're always gonna be the ugly stepchild of the big cities.
Yeah. I'm
It's
telling
sad to say,
you,
but it's true.
yeah, the UFL and AF1, they have some catching up to do with the NFL because I said it
That's
before and I
easily
say it
said.
again. It's the NFL and everybody else.
Well, look at how many leagues have failed. Since they tried spring football. I mean, you have to go all the way back to 1974 when they had the WFL. Now, I'm a little bit too young to remember that, but I've read on it. So, you know, and that folded mid-season in its second year. So that was a dud right there. Then we had the ever popular cult favorite, the USFL, which was moderately successful until legal troubles happened, and then goodbye, Charlie. And then these other wannabe leagues, forget it. They just fold up in a year. And we mentioned that other league back in 2018, which I can forget the name of it now. Failure indeed. I mean, if your league doesn't even survive the full season in its first year, forget it. That was the waste.
Well, one thing is not a waste, I think if you are not in the top five, you were saying earlier, you think you should work out, right?
Oh yeah.
From a scouting point, let's say you were scouting talent and somebody didn't work out, and let's say they weren't in the top five, what would your thoughts be?
Well, I'd say you're decent, but I still think you have a little bit more to prove. You
That's
know,
true. That's a good point. That's
yeah.
exactly what
But
I was thinking.
I don't think one practice or workout is enough to convince them. I think you guys, look at it a little bit more. You know, first impressions are good, but you gotta follow up on that too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I like what I see so far, but I'm not just not convinced yet. Can you show us any more, like in day 2 or day 3? Then I think it'd be more convincing.
Yeah. Okay. That's
You know,
good. That's good advice.
that
Lose the man.
first impressions are on everything.
There you go. Spoken from a
Not when it
man of
comes,
wisdom.
not when it comes to sports.
Okay. There you go.
Other things, yes, but this doesn't apply to this.
Yeah. So definitely, I'm curious to hear what you got going on for your show tomorrow.
Well, I will talk a little bit about that other league. I mean, the UFL. Uh,
This guy, the other
I
league.
already, yeah, the UFL, the other full league. Okay, we'll do some spring training. NBA. We'll count down the way to the NHL trade deadline because that'll be I think it's about. I think it's a week away. I think it's March 7th is deadline. So we're coming up on that. I'll also be on Obi Watch as well. And for those of you who are thinking, what's Obi Watch, buddy? That's Alexander Ovechkin, who is on his way to breaking Gretzky's all-time scoring record. And I think before the month of March is over, he's going to do it.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right, if you don't want to quote me on that, fine. I can take a hint. But the way he's going, I think it could be done before the end of March, and even probably before my birthday too. Interesting. Yeah, Gretzky broke the record too before my 24th birthday. Oops. Sorry. For sure, my age here, folks. Uh, Maybe I'll talk a little bit of some WNBA if I got some interesting news. We'll also have my host doing his UFC WWE report. My better half will do sports trivia. You want to hear some? She's really good. And we'll have our regular features, and we'll also have the monthly look at the standings and schedule because March is going to be a fairly busy month in the sports calendar, and I'll be busy because I'll be doing 5 shows in the same month. Oh boy. Yeah, March, May, and August will be 5 shows in the same month. Boy. So, if you got the guts to call in, listen to the show tomorrow, call in, please do at 512-543-4662 or 1-800-555-GUTS. No, once again, 512-543-4662. Don't forget, check us out on YouTube. Go to YouTube and type in The Enhanced Sports Show, but go to YouTube first. And don't forget to like and share our page as well.
Yes. In fact, let me show that to the people here, and I'll say it too. For Lou. Lou. Oh, sorry about that. It's edited. Oh, sorry about that. Let me just edit that.
No,
Sorry
it's fine.
about. Okay. Let me just. Yeah, so definitely make sure you guys call into Lou 512-543-4662. Again, that's 512-543-4662.
And
That's to
remember, that's
Lou.
East Coast time, people.
Yep, from 4 to 6 p.m. That is tomorrow, Saturday, from 4 to 6, the Enhanced Sports Show. You can also type in Enhanced Sports Show right there on YouTube, and you'll be able to see that man right there, the man, myth, and legend. 512-543-4662. 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone.
Yeah.
I think this is so cool that I get a chance to I think it's so cool that I get a chance to see
how do you
you.
like the new setup anyway? How do you like your new setup?
I love it. I love it. I love the fact that, I get a chance to see you and hear you. And that's
Yeah.
cool. See, the 512-543-4662, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just love the fact that I can see you and hear you.
Yeah. Because I'm with that with a lot of other shows too. A Wednesday night show. I'm involved with from 2 people from Georgia. And of course, my other projects, so mostly on video now, except for a couple of shows on Saturday, but mostly I'm on video through StreamYard with my other projects.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
8 years. 8 years together. Wow.
I
Yeah.
definitely appreciate you. That's
Wait,
so
wait.
awesome.
Wait. 9 years. That's
9
right.
years. That's right.
9 years when we first started calling it, when I first started appearing, doing this, and yeah, yeah. Next week it'll be 9 years since I was first approached.
Awesome. Yeah.
March 8th of 2016, I was approached by a woman named Betty Canley. Facebooked me, and then the next week later, they want me to appear on the show. And I figured, okay, got 15 seconds of fame. Well, 15 minutes of fame, of course. I figured, okay, and then I'll be done in like, wait a second. You know what? You're pretty good. You want to be a regular? Me? Come on. Well, the Spider-Man spin a web. Why not?
That's all so awesome. So I'm looking forward to talking to you tomorrow.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to cover UFL though in the first or second hour. I'll have to, think about where I'm going to fit into the show. But I will fit it in. I just don't know at what exact point that I'll fit in the show.
Yes, and to the great listeners and watchers, I will continue on about the UFL. Kind of say something good about them. But I appreciate you. Always a pleasure, Lou.
Thanks. So I will do it. I just don't know what point in the show that I will do it though.
The man's gonna talk about UFL. You got it. Appreciate you.
At my own risk.
All right. Yeah. I'll talk to you tomorrow, my good friend.
All right, Alan. Thanks.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure. Take care, Lou.
All right.
Yeah, that's Lou. Make sure you guys give him a call, 512-543-4662, 512-543-4662, Eastern Standard Time Zone tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. Thank you so much, Lou. That's the man. So, yes, let me go ahead and just tell you a bit more and show you this a bit more about the UFL. Let me pull this up here. Okay. Yes. All right. Here we go. Okay, see? Single game tickets on sale now. Jace Sternberger Stallions. Yep, nice story about that. And the nice thing about watching and checking in with the website is that everything is here. And sign up for this too, guys. Become an insider. Definitely the schedule's here and tells you the TV schedules as well. Buy tickets. You guys need to come out, support. March 28th is the season opener. That is on a Friday. March 28th is on a Friday. So that's really cool. I'm going to let you guys know what day and time and games I'm going to be at for the UFL. I don't want to say that just yet because I'm still working on a couple details. But yeah, they got the whole schedule here. They got even Destroying on his journey back to the UFL after season ending injury. Let me play this for you right here. This is so awesome.
Sunday morning. What is pumping up his beer snake friends back in the door?
There you go. Well, you need to come out and support.
So many personalities on the field and in the stands in this league.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying, man. Guys need to come out and support. We need to have you guys come out. Make sure you sign up for this. Become an insider. Yeah, theufl.com. All the teams that you're watching are right here, and you can shop right here as well. So, props to a lot of the guys who follow me at the UFL. I'm going to start putting up some more UFL content. Just been kind of backlogged a little bit because of the events and covering Major League Baseball. I'm also going to bring you guys that too. I'm going to come out to the Rays and get you some more behind the scenes content. It's already been outstanding behind the scenes content. So, it's been awesome. So let me just close that out there. Yeah, so let me just take a look here. One of the great things about going to the UFL, covering the UFL, is that every game is an away game for me, meaning if I go to a UFL game, I have to travel. But that's not a bad thing because I have an ace in the hole. Thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. If you need help with destination travel, whether it be destination wedding, group travel, foreign, domestic, international, Pushpin Adventures can help you. That's right. They can give you a cruise of your choice. They can customize anything. Make sure you go ahead and give Monique a call today or text her at 626-838-1006, 626-838-1006. Call or text Pushpin Adventures today. Make that dream a reality. We're going to play another great Sam Scola song. It's the Pushpin Adventure song. Let's go. Make that dream a reality today. Set your heart on fire with an adventure trip tomorrow and today. Make sure you go ahead and give Pushpin Adventures a call. Give Monique a call or text at 626-838-1006. Again, at 626-838-1006. There's Monique right there. She's going to take outstanding care of you. After you take this awesome trip, let us know about it, and we will make sure we talk about it here on the show. So definitely thank you so much, Pushpin Adventures, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. And you can also visit Pushpin Adventures right there, pushpinadventures.com. Pushpinadventures.com. That is so awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, so definitely come out and support the UFL, guys. It was mentioned in there. Make sure you do that. It's a great league. Guys, it's just starting to come in, starting to work together. And speaking of work together, Major League Baseball is something I did want to talk about as well. MLB news. Yes, it's so awesome to be, covering the Rays. For those who don't know, we here at the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show, that is another assignment that we've gotten, is to cover the Rays. It's fantastic. And I'm always a firm believer you pick people up when they're down, not when they're getting kicked down. The Rays are going to be different this year. For those who don't know, they're going to be playing at George Steinbrenner Field for the entire 25 season. It's kind of up in the air. Like I kind of wanted to talk to the president and kind of get some more insight of what's going on with the Rays situation, because one day you'll hear another ownership group wants to buy it. One day you hear that, the deal of fixing it is over. Next day it's on. I really don't know where they're at with this. It's just kind of like a seesaw battle. So I'll get some up-to-date information on that. But I will say this much: if they don't repair that state of the trop, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. With the heat, the rain, no covering. If it costs you, just giving the numbers, $50 million today, it's going to cost you 60 or 65 million if you keep waiting. It's just going to get in more and more disarray, especially with this heat and this rain. Got the hurricane season coming back up. It doesn't stop. So I hope they make a decision sooner than later on what they're going to do. But I will, in the meantime, enjoy what you do have, and that's the Rays. Come out, support them. I'm going to definitely try to get out there again this week. And, I still have other things first I got to take care of, so it's hard for me to be there every day. But I'm going to try to be out there as much as I can and give you guys some insight. Did want to give Joe Madden, a former Tampa Bay Rays, a big shout out and thank you. He did an interview with me. I'm going to post that up for you guys. That I'm going to show that interview with Joe Madden. Awesome, awesome interview. I did it right there at the Tampa Baseball Museum during the Tampa Smokers event last night. So I'm going to post that up. I'm also going to post up an interview that I did with Miller London. That is a Motown executive. He's now retired, but it's a really cool and interesting interview of some of the people that he came in contact with. Definitely, you want to watch that interview too. That's going to be posted as well in the next coming days. Did want to also talk about the event I did attend, the Will Packer book party, as you could call it. I mean, it was awesome. You had Thaddeus Bullard, better known as Titus O'Neil. You had Gary Sheffield there. He brought us some big hitters. Stephen A. Smith was the moderator. It was a sold-out event, and I was glad I got my ticket there and supported and came out there and supported the event. And thanks to Gary Sheffield for doing that interview as well at the, right there at Oxford Exchange. Shout out to Oxford Exchange for that as well, for sharing the post of that I put up there, the photos, and it was really awesome of them to do that and to host that event. And Will Packer, that was fantastic. Also, that was amazing. So props to that. Tomorrow, I did want to also let you guys know I'm actually going to be covering an event tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm covering the Fuel Fest. The Fuel Fest is going to be at the Florida State Fairground. The Fuel Fest is a really cool event. It's been done in other areas, such as Miami, California, and beyond, but it was never been done here in Tampa. And it's right here at the fairground, which is, not too far from me, 15 minutes away, 15, 20 minutes, depending on traffic. But the cool thing about it is that, it was a situation. Tyrese Gibson should be in the house. Cody Walker should be also here. That is the brother of Paul Walker. And those are the ones who really are running it. It's Cody Walker as well as Tyrese Gibson. So those two, I'm going to track them down and and get an interview with those two gentlemen. The event starts from 1 to 8 p.m. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be a fantastic event as well. and it's going to be the first time in Tampa. So I'm kind of curious to see how it kind of logistically flows and how it goes. I've never done a Fuel Fest before, but the nice, cool thing about it is that, the people who were running it, they reached out to me to help promote it. And I am going to, if somebody from the Fuel Fest is watching now, I am going to, without letting out too many details, we were trying to set up an interview to kind of introduce this to you guys, and it didn't kind of go as smooth as we thought. I'm still covering the event, but that means it's a setup for us. The big things that happen tomorrow at the Fuel Fest, me to grab some of those interviews and have a fun time. I will be covering that event tomorrow and Sunday's church. And this week, I'm going to kind of see what I can sneak and kind of get to cover you guys as well. Major League Baseball, guys are getting fit and ready. Definitely, you want to get it. If you want to go ahead and get an autograph, I would suggest you go out and go during spring training and come out there as soon as you can. I've heard from multiple sources coming out to the Rays game 1 that is not as easy to get autographs. So you want to definitely try to get it before the season starts. Because I will tell you, when the season starts, it usually doesn't get easier. It gets a little bit tougher. And come out there and try to get those autographs. I'm going to give you some more insight on the Rays probably during the next show. But yes, it's going to be fantastic. Let me just make sure that I give you guys some other insight here. Let me pull this up here. Yeah, so let me just see here. Yeah, and one of the things that I did want to mention is make sure you guys check the UFL rules. They did say that they're going to change some things. Let me, in fact, pull that up here. Let me just do that real quick for you guys. Okay. There was a couple of press releases I just wanted to go over too. Okay, yes, this is definitely some good information for you guys to know. The Arlington Renegades, I did get this press release here. The training camp will begin on March 3rd. So that is going to be, let me just, yeah, that's right around the corner. That's on Monday. Yes, and the home opener against the San Antonio Brahmas is Saturday, March 29th at 3 p.m. That's Central Time on Fox. Okay. Yeah, so definitely make sure you guys come out, support. Training camp begins March 3rd for Arlington Renegades. Was there anything else here? I did talk about the tickets. Okay, the rule changes. Okay, let me actually pull this up here. Okay, let me pull up the UFL rule changes. This is a press release that I want to make sure I go over with you guys here. I did one thing about me is I like to keep my promises here. So okay. The UFL kickoff rules this season will be based on a combination of the kickoff used by the XFL Legacy during its 2023 season and the NFL Dynamic Kickoff used by the NFL during the 2024 season. These changes include kickoffs will now start from the 30-yard line after being at the 20-yard line last season. So you're going to be moving up if you do a touchback after being at the 20-yard. Okay. The 10 remaining players on the kickoff team will line up at the receiving team's 40-yard line. All kicking team players were at the 20-yard line, including the kicker last season. The receiving team's setup zone will stretch from its 35-yard line to the 30-yard line and must have at least 9 players in that zone. Last season, the receiving team had to have a minimum of 8 players, but no more than 9 players in the setup zone, which was the kicking team's 30 to 40-yard lines, 10-yard zone. The landing zone will be from the receiving team's 20-yard line to the goal line. The ball must reach the landing zone, or it will be spotted at the 40-yard line. So you want to hit the landing zone, or they're going to be in some very, very good starting position. There will be 2 touchback spots, the 35-yard line for balls kicked in the end zone, and the 20-yard line for balls that hit in the landing zone and then entered the end zone. All touchbacks were placed at the 25-yard line last season. And this is cool. The head coach's challenge, the head coach challenge will be expanded in 2025. This extension will feature each head coach will earn a second challenge if the first challenge is successful, which is really cool. I always thought that, I agree with that. I always felt as if you win a challenge, you should have an option to give another challenge later in the game. The head coach can challenge any officiating decision as long as the team has a timeout remaining. Because if the reason for that, because if you don't get the challenge, you lose your timeout. So you have to have at least a timeout remaining to make a challenge. Makes sense. Onside kicks, the league has eliminated this option. That's the kicker right there. Onside kicks, eliminate this option. The kickoff team will be able to retain possession of the ball with a 4th down and 12-yard scrimmage play from its own 28-yard line. Noteworthy rules returning. The following noteworthy rules will be retained this season. Teams will have 3 scrimmage play options, run or pass, to elect to go for 1, 2, or 3-point after touchdown. Okay, yep. 2-yard line, 1 point for a successful try. 5-yard line, 2 point for a successful try. 10-yard line, 3 points for a successful try. I want to see some teams do for that 10-yard, go for that 3 points a little bit more often. That should be cool. And let's see. Overtime will consist of alternating attempts to score from the opponent's 5-yard line with no kicks allowed. It will remain a best-of-3 format until a winner has been determined. A double forward pass, those are always cool, on one play from behind the line of scrimmage is legal. In these situations, the ball cannot cross the line of scrimmage at any time prior to the second forward pass being thrown. So you cannot, let's say, go out there, pass the line of scrimmage, 2-3 yards, flip it back, and then do a pass. It has to stay, you have to stay behind the line of scrimmage the entire time. Otherwise, it's illegal. The 2025 season will kick off Friday, March 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time when Fox Sports debuts Fox UFL Friday. Should be really cool. A new night dedicated to UFL action taking place each Friday during the 10-week regular season, with a matchup featuring the St. Louis Battlehawks against the Houston Roughnecks. The league's second season will conclude on Saturday, June 14th, when ABC presents the 2025 UFL Championship game. So that is interesting. That is interesting. The UFL Championship game will be aired by ABC and not Fox. Fox, who is covering the games. That is interesting. I didn't notice that till now. And I'll read this last line here. About the UFL, the United Football League, UFL, is shaping the future of spring football, born from the groundbreaking 2024 merger of the XFL and the USFL with the visionary backing of Redbird Capital Partners, Fox, Danny Garcia, and Dwayne Johnson. The UFL is redefining the football landscape, positioned to innovate and expand fan engagement, and player opportunities, the league is poised for growth with its 8 teams in key markets: Arlington, Texas; Birmingham, Alabama; Detroit, Michigan; Houston, Texas; San Antonio, Texas; Memphis, Tennessee; St. Louis, Missouri; and Washington, D.C. The UFL is committed to pushing the boundaries of the game and delivering an elevated experience for players, fans, and partners alike. That is awesome. You guys need to come out and support. So let me just go ahead and, yes, theufl.com. So, yes, you guys are fantastic. Really appreciate you guys. And let me also talk about the music you've been hearing. You've been hearing some great music throughout this whole telecast. That music is brought to you by none other than Sam Scola Songs, the man you see right there. Thank you, songwriter Sam Scola Songs and his wife Mary, for all the great music. Great thing about it is you can do a replay. You can catch Sam Scola Songs are available on YouTube and Spotify. All the songs you heard tonight, everyone, even the CTC Emmy Mortgage, Chef G's, all of them. You can hear them on YouTube and Spotify. And nice thing is, we give you even more insight here on the Allen Alford Sports Talk Show. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. That's right. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. There is your opportunity to reach out to the man right there, Sam Scola Songs. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Definitely we want to hear some opportunities. We don't want spam. So no spam, please. Contracts, deals, opportunities, multi-year opportunities. That's what Sam Scola Songs is all about. That's what he wants to hear from you guys. Sing along with Sam at gmail.com. Make sure you give him that opportunity. The only person, and I don't know if Sam will agree with me, but the only person that I know that can maybe is in the same ballpark as Sam Scola Songs is the man that I saw up on stage, Pitbull. My man, shout out to Pitbull. He did an outstanding job during the Daytona 500. It's actually the second time I got a chance to see him in concert within a year, actually. My man puts on a great show. If you haven't been to, make sure you go out and watch a Pitbull concert. And I want to say this much to the listening audience, too. What I really, really respect about Pitbull was that, yes, he did a fantastic job with the performance. It was no surprise on that. I knew he was going to do that. But for those who don't know, 2024, Daytona 500 was rained out, literally rained the entire day. It went from hard to harder, medium to harder. And I know because I was there and I got caught in the rain. And they moved it from Sunday to Monday. Dwayne Johnson was, the Grand Marshal. He was able to come back. He was really the only celebrity and VIP that was able to come back the next day because he got pushed back a day. DJ Khaled could not come back the next day. Miss America could not come back the next day. Pitbull could not come back the next day, but Pitbull did say he was going to come back the very next year and perform at the Daytona 500. And I have utmost respect. He kept his word, and he did. He kept his word and performed, did a wonderful job. And funny thing about that is 45 minutes after he performed, it rained again. It rained, so he got it in. But, yeah, I respect the fact that he kept his word and came back because I was disappointed that it rained out and the concert was, basically canceled. And I was disappointed because I wanted to see him do his thing. And he came back a year later, and it worked out fantastic. Props to all my social media fans who've been liking and enjoyed those pictures. That was awesome. I actually thought I did a pretty good job with the pictures, but I felt like I could have done even better. There was 2 stages up there that they had, and they kind of psyched me out. I thought he was going to be on the left stage. He wasn't. He was actually on the right stage. By the time I figured it out, there was just a massive I mean, just sea of people. I was just amazed that I was able to get as pictures great as I was, considering the situation. But yes, I did make it happen. It was packed. It was packed. It was packed. There was a lot of people there, and yes. And I got you guys that behind the scenes footage. President Donald Trump came in there. I'm not going to go into politics, but I will. Like I promised you guys, I was going to give you guys some behind the scenes content. The man showed up. It's the first time that has ever happened. This is the 4th year in a row I went to Daytona 500. I was not expecting him to be there. I didn't know about it until literally I was there. And then I think the buzzword is, hey, the president's here. The plane just came over. And then lo and behold, I was in the right spot at the right time and got that footage. But yes, that's what happened. So it's awesome. And so Fuel Fest tomorrow, I'm covering that. And thank you to Lou. Thank you to all of you for chiming in today. Definitely appreciate it. Jakey B, you definitely cool. Appreciate you. James Griffin, appreciate you too. And definitely appreciate you guys chiming in. That's fantastic. Lou as well. Appreciate Sam's School of Songs. Appreciate all of those wonderful venues. Larry Mitchell and his golf tournament. That was awesome. Miller London. Joe Madden. And Tired Tampa Baseball Museum. Props you guys. Ybor City Museum. J.C. Newman. Oxford Exchange. Will Packer and his whole crew. The VIP guest list. Thank you for all of that. And thank you for the Fuel Fest. Tomorrow I'm covering that event. Appreciate you guys in advance. So I will make sure that you guys stay healthy, stay connected. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Alan Alford YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe there. Facebook at Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Instagram, Alan Alford _ X is at Alan Alford. Thank you so much for watching another great episode of the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. I really appreciate you. And we're going to go ahead and thank Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting. You may need a support group. Make sure you guys don't forget to get this wonderful sauce. And you can get it in the glass bottle I'm holding right now. This is glass, it's not plastic. He does ship the plastic if you go to the website. But if you go to this place right here, 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. Let me pull up the bourbon one because it has bourbon that is real bourbon in there by Dunamis. If you come down, you get the glass. So you hear that? That's glass. 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you cannot come down to Tampa, you can get this great sauce right at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Also, you can type it out if you want to, Florida BBQ sauce. It is fantastic. Thank you, Chef G's, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Alan Alford Sports Talk Show. Let me go ahead and play that great song again. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. Let's go. Chef G's Florida Barbecue Sauce. So delicious and addicting, you may need a support group. Make sure you go ahead and don't forget to visit Chef G's right there at 301 South 22nd Street, Tampa, Florida. And if you can't come down to Tampa, visit them right there at flbbqsauce.com, flbbqsauce.com. Let us know what you thought about that great sauce. So thank you so much, Chef G's, for being another one of our outstanding sponsors here on the Alford Sports Talk Show. Tremendously appreciate you. Definitely. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you guys for watching another great episode of the Alford Sports Talk Show. I tremendously appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the comments and the likes. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. And until we meet again, be blessed, be well, take care of yourself. Thank you again. Take care. Have a good weekend. I'll bring you some more insight. Let's go.